Hey, I'm Rob Moore and welcome to therobmoore.com, the place where I teach people how to create cultures of excellence that create leaders who shine. And today in this quick video, I want to share with you 5 tips on how you can start today creating your own culture of excellence in your organization. But before I do that, I just want to share with you a little bit about why I do what I do. You see, I've been in the retail organization for over 15 years, and when I first started off in my first supervisory managerial position, I struggled big time. Big time. I mean, I struggled so much I almost thought about quitting, but I decided to persevere on, and I eventually was able to figure some things out. You see, through trial, error, making mistakes, having problems with associates, studying other people to seeing what they do well that worked and what they didn't do that didn't work, so I wouldn't do that anymore. And reading some books, I figured a ton of things out, and I was able to create this culture of excellence where it didn't matter what department I went into, it didn't matter what store I went into, it didn't matter what problems that department or store had at the current time. No matter what, I was able to turn the whole thing around and not only make it an atmosphere that people would be tripping over each other to work in, but constantly over and over again meet every single goal the organization ever had. I've always met all my obligations once I figured out this whole culture of excellence thing. But things changed. The day I went up the corporate ladder and finally got to the level of store manager, things changed big time because it wasn't just me and a small group of people that I was managing. It was me managing everybody in the entire store. I'm talking about anywhere from 100 to 200 associates. But I was ultimately responsible for teaching, coaching, and counseling other department managers, supervisors, and assistant managers to do what I was able to do in order to make the entire organization successful. And what happened was I had a very small group of people in the supervisory positions that would take everything that I ever taught them about how I became successful in this supervisory managerial positions, and they would take this information, apply it, get results very quickly, and have success over and over and over again. But there was also a bigger group that was left over that I would share this same information with. And hey, over a long period of time, some of them would get it, but a lot of them struggled with the information that I was sharing with them, meaning that they needed a lot more quality time with me to help them learn this stuff. But being in the very demanding position that I was in, I can only spend so much time with these people. And this is why I created this website. That's why I created the message, Show Up, Step Out, and Shine. That's why I'm shooting this video right now, because I don't want people in this big group to ever have to struggle in this area ever again. With the information that I'm sharing on this video, with the information available on this website, these people are going to be able to learn everything at a very deep, detailed level so that they can be just as successful as this small group, and probably even more successful if possible. You see, and now since I went through all of this, my mission now is to inspire, motivate, and empower people to amplify their performance and discover their full potential no matter what, to create more leaders in the world. And that's why I do what I do. So let's get to the tips real quick. Tip number 1 is to put everybody in your organization on the same level playing field. You see, as a store manager, one of the things that I found out is that I had some people that were responsible for carts. You see, I worked in a supermarket industry within the retail industry. I've had people who were responsible for emptying bottle machines. And what I found is that these people were intimidated by me. Not me personally, but intimidated by my position. These types of people were intimidated by upper management as a whole, because since they thought that their job was so small, they didn't think that it was important. They didn't think that any issues and concerns that they had were important. You see, one of my things is, just because I'm the store manager doesn't make me any more important than anybody else in the store. Anybody in management isn't any important than anybody else in the store. See, we're all on the level playing field. We need every position, every responsibility, every single body in order to make this thing work. So whatever issues and concerns the guy that's pushing the carts have are just as important as the issues that I have. They need to be raised. They need to be addressed. They need to be fixed. Hey, the only way we're going to make this thing happen is if we all do it together. Tip number 2, hold your people to a higher standard than they will ever hold for themselves. Because people don't push themselves. People don't believe they can do certain things. But if you keep holding them to a higher standard, they're going to strive for it. They're going to try their hardest to get it, and eventually they're going to get there. Which brings me to tip number 3, believe in your people. People don't believe in themselves, but if you believe in them over and over and over again, day in, day out, every single day, they will eventually start to believe in themselves. Tip number 4. Create a culture of transparency. Now, what I mean by this is, when you're responsible for a department, responsible for a store, an organization, you want to bring that kind of family feel to the organization. You want to be totally honest with your people. You want to tell them the things that they need to hear, not the things that they want to hear. And you want them to do the same to you. If anything is bothering them, they got to know that they can come to you and talk to you about it and feel comfortable doing it so that the problem gets fixed. Everybody's got to be 100% honest with each other, because when you keep the negative things inside coming out as they go in, a lot of the tension, the stress in the environment will be cleared and stay clear. So you want to create that transparency in your organization. Man, I want to talk about these things so much more, but I have very limited time. But I got some things coming that's going to help you with that. Tip number 5, learn how to lead yourself. Listen, you cannot lead anybody else in this world if you cannot lead yourself. You got to be able to motivate yourself. You got to be able to get yourself to make plans to achieve some goals. You got to be able to do the things that you don't feel like doing, but you need to do them, because if you don't do them, you're not going to reach the goals that you are set out to achieve. And those are the 5 tips to creating a culture of excellence. Now, I hope you found those things very valuable. And listen, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tips, and I can't give them all to you on this video. But listen, if you like this video, I want you to go to the bottom of it right now and enter your first name and email address, and I'm going to send you a new tip every single week. Not only that, the 5 tips that I just shared with you, I'm going to go into much finer detail for you so that you can master those tips. Not only that, I'm going to throw in another bonus. This is my book, Show Up, Step Out and Shine, Creating a Culture of Leaders Who Shine. And this is the hardback version right here. I want to send you the ebook version right now as soon as you enter your information below. And then you can start to read this right now. And by reading this book and following the tips and strategies that I'm going to send to you every single week, you are going to create this culture of excellence that is just going to help you achieve every single goal that you ever set for yourselves. Not only that, you're going to have more leaders. You're not going to have to work as many hours. Everybody's job is going to become easier. The environment is going to become so less stressful. Productivity is going to skyrocket because more stuff is getting done. So don't hesitate. Go below the video right now, enter your first name, email address, and I will be seeing you on the other side on the next video. And have a fantastic day. Hey, this is Rob Moore, reminding you to show up, step out, and shine. Now is your time, so make it shine.